In this lecture, I will explain the propagation of electromagnetic waves between parallel conducting plates. So, consider two parallel conducting planes. One is at y equal to 0, the other one is at y equal to b. Okay? And their dimensions are infinite along the z direction and x direction. Okay, here in the x direction it will extends from minus infinity to plus infinity. The z direction also it extends from minus infinity to plus infinity. Okay, in the y direction it is restricted. You have a metallic plate at y equal to 0 and another one at y equal to b. And we are searching for the propagation of electromagnetic wave between these two parallel plates. Okay. Now, unlike the propagation of electromagnetic wave in open space, that is a homogeneous medium. If you consider the propagation of electromagnetic wave in an open space, in all the three directions, x, y, and z directions, the medium is homogeneous. But now, this is not a homogeneous medium along the y direction. Along the y direction, there are two metallic plates. So the behavior of electric and magnetic fields in the conducting region or inside conductor is different than the behavior of electromagnetic fields in a dielectric medium. So here we are assuming that in between these two metal plates, there is a dielectric medium which has a permeability mu and a dielectric constant epsilon. Okay, we are interested in the electric field and magnetic field which have sinusoidal time dependence and z dependence. That is, we are looking for the solution which are propagating sinusoidally along z direction and which are sinusoidal in time. Okay, these are the two assumptions: the sinusoidal time dependence and z dependence. Now, to solve for electric and magnetic fields, we have Maxwell's equations. Del dot E equal to 0 and del dot B equal to 0 if the medium between the plates are free of charges and currents. And also we have the curl equation del cross E equal to minus dou B by dou T and del cross B equal to mu epsilon dou E by dou T. Again, the current density J is 0 and charge density rho is 0. These are the four Maxwell's equations in source free space. Here, the electric field and magnetic field are function of R and T. Okay, mu and epsilon are I already mentioned is permeability and dielectric constant of the medium. Now we assumed a time dependence, a sinusoidal time dependence, which is of the form say e raised to minus I omega t. Okay, e raised to minus I omega t. With this time dependence, this dou by dou t will contribute a minus I omega. Therefore, this equations, four equations becomes these curl equations will be changed to del cross E equal to I omega B and del cross B become minus I omega mu epsilon E. The time derivative dou by dou t, the time derivative dou by dou t changed to minus I omega. Okay. The divergence equations del dot E and del dot B remains invariant. Now, this B and E are function of R alone. We uh, removed or separated the time dependence and that comes here as a factor I omega. So these are four Maxwell's equations for electric and magnetic fields which are a function of space coordinates only. Now take curl of the curl equations. We have two curl equations del cross E and del cross B. Take the curl of that equation. First you take the curl of del cross E. Then the left hand side becomes del of del dot E, but del dot E is 0, del dot E is 0. By mistake I write here B, this is E, del dot E is 0. So this becomes del of del dot E minus del square E. The first time del of del dot E becomes 0 and the second time minus del square E equal to I omega into del cross B is minus I omega mu epsilon into E. Rearranging this, you will get del square acting on E plus omega square mu epsilon into E equal to 0. Similarly, taking curl of the other equation, you will get wave equation in B also. Del square B plus omega square mu epsilon into B equal to 0. So we obtained the wave equation of the form del square plus omega square mu epsilon acting on E of R and B of R equal to 0. Okay, this E is a function of x, y, z. Now this del square is actually dou square by dou x square plus dou square by dou y square plus dou square by dou z square in Cartesian coordinates. We already assumed a z dependence, a sinusoidal z dependence, that is of the form e raised to ikz, e raised to ikz. Okay. Then this dou square by dou z square, this dou square by dou z square become minus k square. Taking 2 times derivative of this factor, you will get an ik each time. So ik whole square becomes minus k square, minus k square. Also, dou square by dou x square will contribute 0. Why? Because this is homogeneous along the x direction. Okay, the electric or magnetic field is constant if you vary the x coordinate because it is homogeneous in that direction. But along the y direction, it is not homogeneous. But along the x direction, the variation of field is assumed to be 0. E and B are constant along x direction. So dou square by dou x square, dou square by dou x square of this del square acting on E or B will give you a 0. Dou square by dou z square will give you a minus k square. So the wave equation becomes dou square by dou y square plus omega square mu epsilon minus k square. This minus k square is contribution of dou square by dou z square. Contribution of dou square by dou square vanishes. So the wave equation will be like this. And this electric field has now only a y dependence. We had an r dependence. R means x, y, z dependence. But with respect to x, there is no variation. So E and B are constant along x direction. Z dependence is be separated by this factor k square. Now this E is a function of y alone. Okay, if you are thinking of electromagnetic waves in free space or in a medium which has no boundaries, this E and B are constant. This E and B are constant. Now this has a y dependence. Why this y dependence? Because there is a boundary. There is a metallic conductor at y equal to B and y equal to B. This makes this electric and magnetic field a y dependence. If there are two boundaries at say x equal to 0 and x equal to a, x equal to 0 and x equal to a, then this will be a function of x and y. E is a function of x and y. That is the case with a waveguide, a rectangular waveguide, okay, or a cylindrical waveguide. In that case, there is a non-homogeneous, it is a non-homogeneous medium both in x and y direction. But this parallel planes is non-homogeneous only in the y direction. That is why this E and B depends only on y. And the wave equation becomes dou square by dou y square. Call this omega square mu epsilon minus k square as gamma square into Ez of y, Bz of y equal to 0. Okay, this is very important factor. And now this equation is actually, this is a vector equation. It has three components, ex, ey and ez. So each of this equation, in electric field we will have three wave equation, in magnetic field we will have three equations, because this E and B are vectors, both have three components. Now we are considering only the z component. Okay, we are considering only the z components. We are not interested in the x and y components. They are there, but we are not interested. We are interested only the component which is in the z direction. So the wave equation for z component of E and B is like this: dou square by dou y square plus gamma square acting on Ez or acting on Bz equal to 0. This is equation number 6. Here gamma square is nothing but omega square mu epsilon minus k square. Now, solving 6, this is a wave equation. This is a wave equation with some specified boundary conditions. We can find Ez and Bz. By solving this equation with certain specified boundary conditions, we can find Ez and Bz. That values of Ez and Bz can be used to find can be used to find Ex, Ey, Bx and Dy. That is the idea. Okay. Now, what are the boundary conditions? What are the boundary conditions? We already know that in electrodynamics, normal component of magnetic field is continuous. Normal component of magnetic field is continuous. So here, suppose this is your metallic plate or conducting plate, and here you have the dielectric medium. So n cap is a unit vector directing from the conductor to dielectric medium. When you apply the boundary condition at this interface, the interface between conductor and dielectric, you can write n cap dot b. N cap dot b will give you the normal component, the component which is perpendicular to the interface. N cap is a unit vector perpendicular to the interface. So if you take dot product with the magnetic field, you will get the magnetic field along this direction of n cap. So n cap dot b is the normal component of B. It is continuous means at this surface, n cap dot b at S is equal to n cap dot bc at S. What is B? B is the value of magnetic field just above the surface, that is inside the dielectric media. What is BC? The value of magnetic field just below the surface, that is inside conductor. Okay, that is why I put a C here. But for a perfect conductor, we are dealing with only the case of perfect conductor. A magnetic field inside the conductor is 0. So I can write the right hand side as 0. So it is the n cap dot b at surface equal to 0. What is n cap here? As per our figure, n cap is actually in the direction of y cap. N cap is actually in the direction of y cap. From conductor to dielectric, n cap is actually in the direction of y cap. So y cap dot, what is b? This is actually vector b, right? This is actually vector b. These are all vector b. So vector b I can write bx x cap plus by y cap plus bz z cap at surface equal to 0. So y cap dot x cap 0, y cap dot y cap 1, y cap dot z cap 0. So the only term remaining is by at surface is 0. But we are looking for a boundary condition for bz, not by. Okay, unfortunately we got a boundary condition for by, so we'll keep it like this. Then consider the second boundary condition. Tangential component of E is continuous. Tangential component of electric field is continuous. What is tangential component? N cap cross E. N cap dot E is normal component. N cap cross E is tangential component. At the surface equal to N cap cross EC at the surface. Here E is the electric field at dielectric medium. EC is the electric field at conducting medium. Again, for a perfect conductor, EC is 0. So right hand side becomes 0. N cap cross E at surface is equal to 0. What is n cap? Again it is y cap cross Ex x cap plus Ey y cap plus Ez z cap at surface equal to 0. Y cap cross x cap is minus z cap. Y cap cross y cap is 0. Y cap cross z cap is x cap. Okay, so it is minus Ex z cap plus Ez x cap at surface equal to 0. These two components are in perpendicular directions. At surface, this is equal to 0 means each of these terms should vanish separately because these are independent. Okay, they are along two perpendicular directions. In order to make this 0, each of them should vanish separately. So Ex at surface is 0, Ez at surface is 0. We are interested only in this, the Z component of electric field. So at boundary, Ez is 0. Ez at surface is 0. This is the boundary condition we are required. Ez at surface is 0. Okay. For magnetic field, we will derive another one later. Now consider Maxwell's equation, the curl equation, del cross E equal to I omega B and del cross B equal to minus I omega mu epsilon E. What is del cross E? Curl. It is I cap into dou Ez by dou Y minus dou Ey by dou Z plus J cap into dou Ex by dou Z minus dou Ez by dou X plus K cap into dou Ey by dou X minus dou Ex by dou Y. This is curl. Okay, del cross E. Right hand side is I omega into vector B. Again, we have the assumed Z dependence e raised to ikz that will give you dou by dou z as ik. Okay, we already assumed the z dependence of the form e raised to ikz. So dou by dou z will give you an ik. We already mentioned that along the x direction medium is homogeneous. So dou by dou x, there is no variation for electric field or magnetic field along the x direction. So dou by dou x will give you a 0. So substituting here, whenever you have a dou by dou z, replace it with an ik. Whenever you have a dou by dou x, replace it with 0. So you will get this I cap dou Ez by dou y minus Ik Ey plus j cap Ik Ex plus k cap minus dou Ex by dou y equal to I omega into B. Right hand side is again Bx I cap plus By j cap plus Bz k cap. So equating the coefficient of I cap, I will get dou Ez by dou y minus Ik Ey equal to I omega Bx. Similarly, Ik Ex equal to I omega By minus dou Ex by dou y equal to I omega Bz. Call this equation 8, 9, 10. In a same manner, I can expand del cross B, and it is equal to minus I omega mu epsilon E. Again, dou by dou z replace it with Ik. Dou by dou x replace with 0. You will get 3 more equations. Dou Bz by dou y minus Ik By equal to minus I omega mu epsilon Ex. Ik Bx equal to minus I omega mu epsilon Ey minus dou Bx by dou y equal to minus I omega mu epsilon Ez. Okay. For these are 11, 12 and 13. Now put equation 9 in 11. Put equation 9 in 11. Our aim is to find expressions for Bx, By, Ex, Ey in terms of Ez and Bz. Okay. What is our aim for doing all these things? Finding Ex, Ey, Bx, By in terms of the Z components Ez and Bz. So put equation 9 in 11. This is equation 9. Put this equation in 11. Okay, we will get this as dou Bz by dou y minus Ik By equal to minus I omega mu epsilon into omega by k By. Okay, substitute here Ex as omega by k By. Then take LCM k. So k dou Bz by dou y equal to Ik square. This minus Ik square will come to the right hand side. Ik square minus I omega square mu epsilon to By. Rearranging this By equal to I divided by omega square mu epsilon minus k square into k dou Bz by dou y. K dou Bz by dou y. Call this as equation 40. Similarly, put 12 in 8. Okay, take this 12, equation 12, and substitute here in 8 for Bx. Substitute for Bx from here. Then you will get dou Ez by dou y minus Ik Ey equal to I omega into minus omega mu epsilon by k into Ey. Again, I'll take LCM and rearrange. You will get Ey equal to I divided by omega square mu epsilon minus k square into k dou Ez by dou y. Equation 15. Equation 15. Then from 9, what is 9? 9 is this one. 9 is this one. From here you can write Ex is equal to omega by k By. Okay, Ex is equal to omega by k By. By is already obtained from 14. So substitute here as By. You will get Ex. Ex is k and k will cancel. I omega divided by omega square mu epsilon minus k square dou Bz by dou y. Equation number 16. Similarly, from 12, you can write Bx is equal to minus omega mu epsilon by k into Ey. From this equation for Ey, equation 15, you can substitute. So you will get Bx as minus I omega mu epsilon divided by omega square mu epsilon minus k square into dou Ez by dou y. Equation number 17. Equation number 17. Okay, now we can find the boundary condition for Bz. Okay, that we were put in here. We got a boundary condition for By, but we require a boundary condition for Bz. Okay, here By at surface is 0. By at surface is 0. From equation say 14, By at surface 0 implies dou Bz by dou y at surface 0. Okay, so boundary condition for Bz we can obtain from equation 14. from equation 14 we have By is Ik divided by omega square mu epsilon minus k square into dou Bz by dou y. By at surface 0 implies dou Bz by dou y at surface 0. Okay, because we require a boundary condition for Z component of electric and magnetic field. Okay, from the normal component of B continuous, from that we obtained this By at surface is 0. Okay, this is for Y component of magnetic field. What we actually require is the boundary condition for Z component of magnetic field. Okay, that we obtained here. We obtained here dou Bz by dou y at surface is 0. So the summary of the things we done so far is uh, we obtained a wave equation like dou square by dou y square plus gamma square acting on Ez or Bz equal to 0. Here Ez and Bz are just function of y. This is a wave equation. Here you have dou square by dou y square. This is a wave equation. So you can solve this wave equation for either Ez or Bz. But for a unique solution, we need boundary conditions. We already obtained that boundary conditions. What are the Ez at surface is 0. So you can solve the first equation dou square by dou y square plus gamma square acting on Ez equal to 0 with this boundary condition Ez at surface 0. Or you can solve the second differential equation dou square by dou y square plus gamma square acting on Bz y equal to 0 with the boundary condition dou Bz by dou y at surface equal to 0. Okay, so you have two wave equations and two boundary conditions. So you can solve uniquely for Ez and Bz. Once you have Ez and Bz, you can use equation 14, 15, 16, 17. Equation 14 for By, equation 15 for Ey, equation 16 for Ex, equation 17 for Bx. Okay, so that completes the solution of electric and magnetic fields inside the or in between the metallic plates or conducting plates. Okay, solving for electric field and magnetic field means you need 6 components: Ex, Ey, Ez, Bx, By, Bz. So you can find the 6 components using this procedure. Okay, now here the form of wave equation is similar for electric and magnetic field. Wave equation is exactly the same for electric and magnetic fields, but the boundary condition is not exactly the same. One is for Ez, the other one is for the normal derivative of Bz. So they are different. Therefore, we can treat them separately. I will consider these as two different cases. The first case is transverse magnetic mode or TM mode. Here, I will take Bz equal to 0 everywhere with the boundary condition Ez at the surface 0. So, since we are taking Bz at 0 everywhere, we have only one wave equation, that is dou square by dou y square plus gamma square acting on Ez equal to 0. That is the wave equation. Dou square by dou y square plus gamma square acting on Ez equal to 0 along with the boundary condition Ez at the surface 0. So here this Ez is a function of just y. So you can say, write this partial derivative as total derivative. Okay, no need to write the partial derivative. You can use the total derivative. So d square Ez by dy square plus gamma square Ez equal to 0. This is simply the simple harmonic oscillator equation. Okay, and differential equation for SHM. Solution is Ez of y equal to a sin gamma y plus b cos gamma y. This has to satisfy the boundary condition Ez at the surface 0. What are the surfaces? One surface is at y equal to 0, the other surface is at y equal to b. That are two conducting surfaces. We are considering these two metal plates or conducting plates, one at y equal to 0, the other one at y equal to b. So surface means y equal to 0 or y equal to b surface. Okay. So we have the boundary condition Ez at y equal to 0. When you put y equal to 0, Ez should be 0. When you put y equal to 0 on the RHS, sin 0 is 0, but cos 0 is 1. In order to make the RHS 0, B should vanish. So B is equal to 0. The other boundary condition, Ez at y equal to B should also be 0. When you put a y equal to B, you will get this as gamma B. In order to make sine theta 0, theta should be n pi. So this gamma B should be n pi, where n is an integer. Okay. So you can write gamma as n pi by b. Gamma as n pi by b. The solution is Ez of y equal to E0 sine n pi y by b, where E0 is just a and gamma is n pi by b. So the solution is Ez of y equal to E0 sine n pi y by b. Then what is Ez of RT? We already separated the Z dependence and T dependence. They have the form e raised to ikz and e raised to minus I omega t. So a complete solution Ez of RT is E0 sine n pi y by b e raised to ikz minus omega t. There is no x dependence because in the x direction uh, electric field and magnetic field are constant. So the electric field, the Z component of electric field has only y dependence and z dependence. Z dependence we already assumed it is sinusoidal. Time dependence is already assumed to be sinusoidal, and this part we solved this wave equation, and using the boundary conditions we obtained a solution like this. Now the important point is here, what is a gamma square? Gamma square is actually omega square mu epsilon minus k square. So you can write k square as omega square mu epsilon minus gamma square. For an oscillatory solution along z direction, for an electromagnetic wave propagating along z direction, this k should be real. Why? Because here the z dependence is of the form e raised to ikz. If k is real, you will get an oscillating term. If k is imaginary, then this I and this I. K imaginary angle, here you will have an I. So both I will give you a minus, and it is e raised to minus k. Okay. So if k is real, you will get an oscillatory solution. If k is imaginary, you will get a decaying solution, and that solution is called the cutoff or evanescent modes. They are called cutoff or evanescent modes. So for a propagating solution, you need k to be real, and that happens when k square is greater than 0. This k square is greater than 0. When k square is less than 0, you will get cutoff modes or evanescent modes. That is the boundary of these two modes are k equal to 0 or k square is equal to 0. K square, when you put k square is equal to 0, you will get omega square mu epsilon is equal to gamma square. That is cutoff frequency. You can define a cutoff frequency as omega is equal to gamma divided by root 2 mu epsilon. Gamma divided by root mu epsilon. Okay. So here for transverse magnetic mode, with uh, value n, you can call it as TMN mode, TM transverse magnetic nth mode. The cutoff frequency is omega n equal to, then you put gamma as gamma n divided by root 2 mu epsilon. What is gamma n? Gamma n is nothing but n pi by b. So you can put gamma n as n pi by b. So this is the cutoff frequency for nth TM mode, nth transverse magnetic mode. The cutoff frequency is n pi divided by root 2 mu epsilon into b. Okay. So for TM1 mode, you have the cutoff frequency as omega 1 is equal to put n equal to 1. It is pi divided by root 2 mu epsilon into b. This is the cutoff frequency for TM1 mode. B is the separation between the conducting plates. Pi is 3.14. Now, what is Ez? Ez is E0 sine, instead of n you have 1 because you are looking for TM1 mode. So sine pi y by b e raised to I kz minus omega t. Ez. What is Bz? By definition of TM mode, Bz is 0 everywhere. So Bz is 0. So we got 2 components Ez and Bz. Now from Ez you can find Ex from where you have the equation 16 Ex is equal to uh, in terms of Bz, but Bz is 0, so Bz is 0, you will get Ex as 0. Ex as 0. Similarly, Ey from the equations of 14, 15, 16, 17, you can write relations for Ey, Bx, By. Ey is Ik divided by gamma square. Gamma square is for n equal to 1, gamma square is pi square by b square into dou Ez by dou y. Dou Ez by dou y. Take the derivative of this quantity with respect to y. So sin pi y by b derivative is cos pi y by b into pi by b. 1 pi by b will cancel with the denominator and it will go like b by pi. I into E0 k b by pi cos pi y by b e raised to I kz minus omega t. This factor remains the same. What is Bx? Bx is minus I omega mu epsilon divided by gamma square. Gamma square is again pi square by b square into dou Ez by dou y. Take the derivative with respect to y. Again, sin derivative will be cos pi y by b into pi by b. 1 pi by b will cancel with the denominator and you will get it as minus I omega mu epsilon E0 b by pi cos pi y by b e raised to I kz minus omega t. By is a derivative of Bz, so Bz is 0 means By is also 0. So there are in six components of electric and magnetic fields, 3 are 0. Bz, Ex, By are 0. Non-zero components are Ez, Ey and Bx. Ez, Ey and Bx. Okay. So this is the case of transverse magnetic mode. Now what is transverse electric mode? Transverse electric mode means Ez equal to 0 everywhere. There is no longitudinal component for electric field. That is no component along the z direction or propagation direction. Component is only along transverse direction. That is why it is called transverse electric. Transverse electric mode. Ez equal to 0 everywhere. What is boundary condition? Boundary condition should be that of Bz, because when Ez equal to 0, the only wave equation you have is dou square by dou y square plus gamma square acting on Bz equal to 0. This is the only wave equation you have. That is for Bz. So the boundary condition should also be for Bz. This is the boundary condition for Bz. Dou Bz by dou y at surface is 0. Now, this Bz is a function of y only. So, no need of writing partial derivative. You can use total derivative. D square Bz by dy square plus gamma square Bz equal to 0. What is the solution? This is differential equation of simple harmonic oscillator. Solution is a linear combination of sine and cos. A sine gamma y plus b cos gamma y. Boundary condition is of the derivative. So, take derivative of this and put y equal to 0. Okay, after taking derivative, you have to put y equal to 0. And then after taking derivative, this sine becomes cos and this cos becomes sine. When you put y equal to 0, this sine term will vanish. This sine term will vanish, but cos term will remain non-zero. So in order to make that 0, a should be 0. This a should be 0. Okay, because we need boundary condition in derivative. So that becomes a gamma cos gamma y minus b gamma sin gamma y. This should be 0 when you put y equal to 0. When you put y equal to 0. This term will vanish, but this term will be non-zero. In order to make this 0, a should be 0. What is the second boundary condition? Dou Bz by dou y at y equal to b is 0. So gamma b should be 0. Gamma b should be integral multiple of pi. So gamma b equal to n pi. Gamma is again n pi by b. So bz of y is a is 0, b is b naught. Call this b as the maximum value of magnetic field b naught, and cos gamma becomes n pi by b into y. This is the value of bz. Again, you have gamma square is equal to omega square mu epsilon minus k square. So gamma n square is omega square mu epsilon minus k n square. Cutoff frequency is obtained by putting kn is equal to 0. So cutoff frequency omega n square is equal to gamma n square by mu epsilon. Omega n is gamma n divided by root 2 mu epsilon. Again gamma n is n pi by b. So omega n is n pi by b into root 2 mu. For TE1 mode, put n equal to 1. So omega 1 is pi by root 2 mu epsilon into b. This is the cutoff frequency for TE1 mode. That is cutoff frequency for TE1 and TM1 modes are the same. For TE1 mode, we have Bz as B0 cos pi y by b. This gives you the y dependence only. We have already assumed the z dependence as e raised to ikz and time dependence as e raised to minus I omega t. So total Bz is B0 cos pi y by b e raised to ikz minus omega t. Ez is, we already assumed that it is 0 for transverse electric. Using equation 14, 15, 16, 17, equation 14, 15, 16, 17, you can find the value of Bx. You obtained as 0 because Ez is 0. By, you have to take the derivative of Bz with respect to y. Then you will get this as minus Ik B into capital B0 divided by pi into sine pi y by b e raised to ikz minus omega t. Because the derivative of cos is minus sine. Again Ex, you will get it as minus I omega B0 b divided by pi into sine pi y by b e raised to ikz minus omega t. Ey, you will get it as 0. So among the 6 components of electric and magnetic field, 3 will be again 0. Ez, Bx and Ey are 0. The non-zero components are Bz and By and Ex. Now I will explain the field configuration between the parallel plates for a TM1 mode. TM1 mode, transverse magnetic 1 mode. In the horizontal axis, I have Kz. Okay, so this is Z direction, and the vertical direction is Y, and I marked Y by B, Y divided by B on the Y axis, this vertical axis. So naturally, the x-axis will be into the plane of the board. In a right-handed system, if you have z-axis along horizontal and y-axis along vertical, x-axis will be into the plane of the board. Now, this Ez, Ey, Bx are respectively the real part of Ez, Ey and Bx. What is meant by real part? Because for TM1 mode, this Ez is actually has two parts, real part and imaginary part. What is e raised to I theta? This cos theta plus I sin theta. So if you take the cos theta part, you will get the real part of Ez. But for Ey, you have already an I here. So when you write e raised to I theta as cos theta plus I sin theta, that cos theta part will be imaginary, and I sin theta, when you multiply it with this I, that will become a real part with a negative sign. So Ey, the real part will be minus of sine kz minus omega t. And for Bx, you have a minus I here. So again, the real part will be sine part, but it is with a positive sign. Sine kz minus omega t will be the real part of Bx. So when I write the real part, Ez will be E0 sine pi y by b cos kz minus omega t. Ey is minus E0 kb by pi cos pi y by b sine kz minus omega t. Bx is omega mu epsilon E0 b divided by pi cos pi y by b sine kz minus omega t. Now, look at the magnetic field Bx. It is denoted as either into the plane of the board. If you have an into with a circle around it, it is directed into the plane of the board. If you have a dot with a circle around it, it means that it is pointing outward. Okay. Anyway, it is along the x direction, either along positive x direction or along negative x direction. Okay. Into the board means into along with a circle. Dot along with a circle means out of plane. Now, consider the region where y by b is less than 0.5 and kz is less than pi. Okay, between 0 and 0.5, y by b, kz between 0 and pi. That is, sine kz becomes positive, because in the first two quadrants, sine is positive. 0 to 0.5 means this cos angle is from 0 to pi by 2, 0 to pi by 2. In the first quadrant, cos is positive. So both cos term and sine term are positive, where from 0 to zero point 0.5 and from 0 to pi in this region. 0 to 0.5 along y and 0 to pi along z direction. In this region, both these terms are positive, that is bx is positive. Bx is positive means along the positive x direction, that is into the plane of the board. That is why I put an into sign. Also, the value is maximum at x equal to, sorry, at z equal to, kz equal to pi by 2. When kz is equal to pi by 2, the sign becomes maximum. So that value is maximum at pi by 2 and reduces to 0 at pi. So it increases from 0 to pi by 2 to a maximum, then again reduces to 0. That is the variation like this. Now, when this kz is between pi and 2 pi, kz is between pi and 2 pi, this sign becomes negative. Again, cos is we are considering just up to 0.5 in this region. Sin kz is between pi and 2 pi. Sign becomes negative, and this bx becomes negative. That is along the negative x direction. That is out of plane. That is why I put a dot with a circle around it. Again, it is maximum at kz equal to 3 pi by 2, because sin is maximum at 3 pi by 2 angle, then reduces to 0. This is the variation of magnetic field. For y by b between 0.5 and 1, what happens? Between 0.5 and 1, this cos becomes negative. Between 0 and pi, this sign becomes positive. So bx is negative. Bx is negative means out of plane. That is why a dot with a circle around it. In this region, kz is between pi and 2 pi, that is sign is negative. This cos is also negative. So negative into negative becomes positive. That is along positive x direction, that is into the plane of the ball. So I think it is clear the configuration of magnetic field between the plates. Now, what about electric field? Consider the Ez value. Between 0 and 0.5, y by b, 0 and 0.5, and kz between 0 and pi. This sign is in the first quadrant, it is positive. First time is positive. And the second time, cos, between 0 and pi, it is not possible to take that. Between 0 and pi by 2, I will take between 0 and pi by 2. Then cos is positive. So both are positive, that is Ez is in the positive direction. Ez is in the positive direction means Z component of electric field in the positive direction. That is why the arrow is pointing like this here. Arrows are in like this, between 0 to 0.5 in y direction and 0 to pi by 2 in z direction. But what happens if kz is greater than pi by 2? Between pi by 2 and pi, this cos term becomes negative. Second quadrant, this cos is negative. Again, we are considering 0 to 0.5 region, so sign is positive. The product will be negative. That is why in this region, pi by 2 to pi, the z component of electric field is in this direction, the negative z direction. Similarly, you can look at the variation of Ez in these remaining three portions. I will explain the case with Ey. Ey is minus E0 kb divided by pi cos pi y by b sin kz minus omega t. For y by b from 0 to 0.5, this cos is angle between 0 to pi by 2, that is positive, the first quadrant. Between 0 and pi by 2, this sign is positive. So both these terms are positive, but due to this negative sign, Ey is negative. So from 0 to pi by 2 and 0 to 0.5, the y component of electric field is downward. That is why these arrows are in the downward direction. Y component of electric field is downward. Y component is in the downward direction. Then from pi by 2 to pi, again from pi by 2 to pi, sign is positive. 0 to 0.5 cos is positive. So these terms are positive. Ey is negative. So pi by 2 to pi also, electric field y component is in the downward direction. So you have to put a downward arrow on. Okay. But from pi to 3 pi by 2 or from pi to 2 pi region, this sign kz becomes negative. Again, cos is positive because we are considering 0 to 0.5. So Ey becomes positive. The sign is negative. Already you have a negative sign. So this becomes positive. Ey is positive means in the upward direction. That is why arrows are in the upward direction. In a similar manner, you can explain the entire figure, entire field configurations inside with parallel plates. So this is about TM1 mode. In a similar manner, you can visualize the field configuration in TE1 mode also. So this is all about the propagation of electromagnetic wave between two parallel plates. Okay. So ഇതിലെ ഏറ്റവും ഇമ്പോർട്ടന്റ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഡിഫറൻസ് നമ്മളൊരു പ്ലെയിൻ വേവ് പഠിക്കുന്ന സമയത്ത് നമ്മൾ ആദ്യം പ്ലെയിൻ വേവ്സ് പഠിക്കുന്ന സമയത്ത് ഇങ്ങനെയൊന്നും അല്ലെ ഇ സെഡ് ബി സെഡ് എന്നൊരു നോഷൻ ഒന്നും ഇല്ല. എന്തുകൊണ്ടാന്ന് വെച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ അവിടെ നമുക്ക് ഇങ്ങനത്തെ ഒരു ബൗണ്ടറി കണ്ടീഷനോ അല്ലെ ഒരു നോൺ ഹോമോജിനിറ്റി ഇല്ല. ഈ നോൺ ഹോമോജിനിറ്റി വരുന്നത് കൊണ്ടാണ് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഈ കേൾ ഇക്വേഷനിലും ഒക്കെ വ്യത്യാസം വരികയും ബൗണ്ടറി കണ്ടീഷൻസ് വരികയും ഈ ഇ സെഡ് ബി സെഡ് ഒക്കെ വരാവുന്ന ഒരു കേസും ഇങ്ങനെ ട്രാൻസ്വേഴ്സ് മാഗ്നറ്റിക് ട്രാൻസ്വേഴ്സ് ഇലക്ട്രിക് എന്നുള്ള മോഡൊക്കെ വരാനുള്ള കാരണം. ഓക്കെ, സോ ഈ ഫീൽഡ് കോൺഫിഗറേഷൻസും ക്ലിയർ ആണെന്ന് വിചാരിക്കുന്നു. താങ്ക് യു.